Howdy, and welcome to LeeReads, where I talk about the books I've been reading and enjoying lately. My birthday month is here, and usually I will indulge and buy myself some new books, but I don't want to have a lot of books on my bookshelves that I haven't read yet. I took a look at my bookshelves to determine if I've been doing a good job reading the books that I have been buying. All in all, I think I've done pretty well. So today I'm going to talk about the physical books, the books on my bookshelf that I have not yet read that I would like to read soon. So it's sort of a shop my bookshelf, TBR from my shelf sort of video. That way y'all can help to keep me accountable. So let's start first with two books that have been lent to me by friends that I need to read so I can return them and not hoard books like a dragon. The first is volume 2 of Sandman, which is called The Dollhouse. This is a graphic novel. My friend has the entire set, and he's very excited that they are making the show adaptation, and I wanted to check it out. I liked volume 1, although I do think that it can get quite dark, but I think that I'm really going to enjoy the character that this volume focuses on, which is Death. The next book that a friend lent me is Patient Zero. This one was quite random. We were just talking about plagues and zombies and pandemic type stories. My master's degree, I studied prions, and I think prions are the bad guy that make the plague happen in this story. My friend thought I'd be interested in it. It's a biological hazard plague thriller type of story. Patient Zero. Another book that was gifted to me a while back that I've kept on my shelf because I'm interested is by an author that I haven't read, Julian May, The Many-Colored Land. When a one-way time tunnel to Earth 6 million BC was discovered, every misfit for light years around hurried to pass through it, hungry for adventure, the romance of the unknown, and a life free of the milieu's stuffy rules. Each sought his own brand of happiness, but none could have guessed what awaited them, not in a million years. So this is cool. We have like an advanced interstellar society, and they're going way back in time and making a civilization. My friend actually gifted me the whole series, so if I like this one, then I can continue on. Okay, books that I bought. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson, book 4 in the Stormlight Archive. I love the series. I take my time reading the books. I figure there is no rush, and honestly, the characters in the series are some of my very favorite, and I fear bad things happening to them. So I'm also like putting off reading it to put off the pain, which is so silly. I know that's really silly, but I heard that some other booktube channels are doing a Tome Topple readathon later in this month. The goal of Tome Topplers is you just have to read one book that is 500 pages or greater. So I thought that I might target Rhythm of War for Tome Topplers and read it later this month. I do have the audiobook for it, so I can bounce back and forth between the physical book and the audiobook. Next, I have more Lewis McMaster Bujold. I found this copy of Curse of the Chalion at the Half Price bookstore a few months ago, and I also found the paperback for the second book in the series, or the sequel if it's just a duology, the Paladin Soul. I have both of these books. I've actually started Curse of the Chalion, and I was getting into it. I just, for whatever reason, put it down, got distracted. There was a shiny thing. I started reading something else. Probably a library hold came due. I always tend to prioritize those library books when I get them. I liked the main character. I liked the world that was being set up with the magic. I still just love the detail and on this cover. And doesn't this cover just call you to adventure? So I've started this one, gonna get to it soon. And if I enjoy it, I already have the next one. I have another zombie-ish book, Bad Witch Burning, which is a young adult fantasy. It's about a woman who can talk to the dead and uses it to make some money. She's very poor, but then the dead start talking back and telling her to stop doing what she's doing. I love this line of the summary. Only magic isn't free, and dark forces are coming to collect. Now Cattrall faces a choice: resign herself to poverty or confront the darkness before it's too late. I think that's a really interesting blend of conflicts. You have this real-world societal trying to survive conflict, but then also the magic and the speaking to the dead. 2 other books I've started. I won the arc off of a Twitter giveaway. Daughter of the Moon Goddess. It's a recent release. It came out only a month or so ago. It's about a woman whose mother is the goddess of the moon. Due to kind of political reasons within the celestial courts, this immortal court, she has to flee down into the celestial court, go into hiding, and she ends up becoming a warrior to try to prove herself in this imperial celestial court that has no love for her mother. As you can tell, I'm about halfway done with it. I'm enjoying it so far, and I'll be happy to keep this one on my shelf. I also picked up The Crystal Cave the last time I was at the Half Price bookstore, and I've started it barely. I've like dabbled into it, but I think this is going to be for me. There's just something about the writing. I've never read any Mary Stuart before. A year or so ago, I would have said, I'm not a big person into Arthurian legend retellings. Apparently I am, because not only am I willing to pick up these Arthurian retellings, the last few ones that I have picked up, I've really enjoyed. And this one apparently has a little bit more of a romantic twist with the main character. It's following Merlin, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to come into play. He is born bastard of a Welsh princess, so right now in the story we're still in that world. I'm sure that pretty soon Merlin is going to launch on his adventure towards becoming the legendary sorcerer and falling in with Arthur. Like I said, there's something about Mary Stuart's writing so far. Yes, we'll finish this one soon. Finally, I have book 2 in the Winnowing Flame trilogy. I actually picked up all 3 books in this trilogy, the recommendation of Elliot Brooks after hearing her rave about it. I took a risk and I bought the entire trilogy without having read the first book. And I think the gamble was a good one because I really liked the first book in the trilogy. Where it left off made me very intrigued for picking up this next one. Those are the physical books that I have on my bookshelf, books that I intend on focusing on in the next few months and not just have a hoard of novels on my shelf that go unread forever. I've done a good job reading the books that I've recently brought home for the most part, and that means that I give myself permission, go to a bookshop, shop around, add a few more to my collection. Sometimes I laugh that buying books and having books can be somewhat of a different hobby than actually reading the books, but it's true. Of course, when you're reading the books, you're going on this adventure. It's invoking with these emotions within you. You get invested in what's going on, but there's a different type of joy in going to the bookshop, browsing the shelves, and finding that next novel that will launch you on that adventure. Kind of a treat into itself. So I'm looking forward to doing that soon. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. And as always, please don't forget to support your local library. Thanks.